Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by our new friends at Hughes Federal Credit Union. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Greg Hansen. Greg, Arizona opens its 2015 football season Thursday night against UTSA, the first in what will be a 12 games in 12 weeks stretch. We've kept the people waiting long enough, Greg. How do you think they're going to do this year?
I think they'll win 7 or 8.
Okay.
Which isn't bad in this league. They have to win those toss-up games that they won last year.
Right, they won like 5 of 6 of their toss-up games last year.
Is that going to happen again?
I don't know. It's hard to imagine another Hill Mary, another Casey Scourin thing, another and on and on and on, right?
Can Stubby steal the ball from somebody else?
Right. Scooby stealing a football, them beating ASU. I mean, a lot of things went right for them a year ago.
And they didn't have a lot of injuries.
Right.
I think the games that are most important, people might not agree with, are Colorado, Washington State, and Washington. You have to win those 3 games.
You got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Right now, when you look at it on the paper, you go, oh, there's 3 wins. But when that day comes, it's not like that.
Right. Well, it used to be, Greg, especially in the pre-Rich Rod era, you look at the schedule and go, well, my goodness, if they can just beat the teams they're supposed to beat and maybe get lucky once or twice, they could win 7 or 8 games. Rich Rod's teams don't really get upset a whole lot, do they? I mean, it's not like those Mike Stoops teams that would lose 1 or 2, easy wins every year.
Yeah, that's true. The only one was Washington State home game a couple of years ago.
Right.
Larry Smith and Dick Tomey, going way back, they always lost at least 1 game.
Right.
That ruined the season.
Right, that they had no business losing. Right. And with Stoops, it was funny. They would lose a game that they have no business losing, and then they'd win a game that they had no business winning. It was just baffling, I thought.
The whole history of the program seems to be like that. Larry Smith beat #1 USC, went to Notre Dame, beat undefeated Notre Dame, and then got swept at home by Fresno State. So that's still going. As
we enter year 4 of the Rich Rodriguez era, there's now a body of work that we can judge them on. What has been your biggest takeaway from him and his staff and his coaching style?
I think in college football, he's probably, a guru is not the right word, but as smart as anybody at moving the football. Arizona led the nation in total plays last year.
Really? More than Oregon? Wow.
They were 1 play ahead of Baylor, and Oregon was 3rd, about 20 behind. But the big difference is Oregon and Baylor were 1 and 3 in total scoring. Arizona was 25th.
Wow.
They've got to move up. They've got to score more than 40 points a game. They were 35 last year.
Wow.
I think that's the move because they're going to have to outscore people.
Absolutely. And, their schedule sets up rather nicely here in the first 3 weeks or so. It gets pretty tricky there in the middle, especially you talk about having to play. I mean, all the big boys pretty much in the month of October.
When you play UCLA and Stanford back-to-back, people in Fayetteville and Tuscaloosa probably shrug at it, but those 2 teams back-to-back, if you can split that, you are really good.
Absolutely. If they can split that, you might be looking at 8-4, 9-3. I think that 2-week stretch is what it's all going to come down to.
And then it's only October 1st.
Right.
Then you've got a gauntlet to run for the next 8 weeks. It's, he signed up for this. He's getting paid for it, but coaching against this schedule is just brutal.
Yeah. Welcome to life in the new Pac-12.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
True fans live for their team. They buy the gear, they order the tickets, they pay for the seats and the experiences. For those true U of A fans, thankfully there is Hughes Federal Credit Union, offering the latest payment choices such as U of A debit cards, paying online, paying a friend with Pop Money, or using Apple Pay with your mobile phone. Show your U of A spirit and put technology and convenience at your fingertips. Hughes Federal Credit Union. Smart choice.